several major student organizations and to serve as student body president. After graduating from IU, Will went on to investment banking, where he provided merger and acquisition advisory services to clients worldwide. After a few years of extremely pleasant 90-plus work weeks, he left the world of investment banking to work in private equity, where he became an investor leading origination efforts to acquire privately held businesses across the U.S. 2 years ago, he sacrificed the stability of a regular paycheck to launch his own investment fund, Dunmore Capital Partners, where he serves as managing partner with the backing of no fewer than 16 private investors. He earned his MBA from Northwestern's Kellogg School of Management and now resides in Chicago, where he devotes his time to his investment fund and searching for one business to acquire and operate. Let's give a toasty welcome to Will Wright.
Thank you. It's great to be back here for such an important event. I think my parents could attest to the fact that I don't come home very often, so this is a pretty nice perk to be back here. And I can also proudly say that one of my greatest Canterbury triumphs actually occurred only 2 days ago, when I sent my speech to Mrs. Hancock to be submitted to the Canterbury Today. I actually received 3 words back. It looks good. These are 3 words I'd never seen her use before. So 13 years later, I can proudly say that I'm sleeping soundly. I recently had the opportunity to participate in a week-long mindfulness retreat. When I was your age, I would have found this to be about as exciting as a week full of I-step tests. However, today, I find mindfulness to be an incredibly useful tool in managing life's ups and downs. Shortly after returning from my retreat, I received an invite to come back for a graduation and realized what perfect timing for me to reflect on what I've learned over the years and attempt to impart some wisdom on you. And just as any decent commencement speaker might do, I'll attempt to distill this into 3 simple steps that I've learned over time. So step 1, identify your goals. I recently heard a great story about Evander Holyfield. Now, some may know Evander Holyfield as the guy who got his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson. What you may not know is that Evander was actually one of the greatest boxers to ever live, reigning as the first and only boxer ever to be undisputed champion in both cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, and the only 4-time heavyweight champion of the world. But before Evander had any of that, he was just a kid who showed up at the gym one day with aspirations. After a rather lackluster workout, his coach asked him, "Why'd you show up today? Why are you really here?" Evander responded, "Because I want to be the greatest boxer that ever lived." The coach replied, "Is that a dream or is that a goal?" Because a dream is something you fantasize about that isn't going to happen. A goal is something for which you set a plan, you work for, and you achieve. Young Evander went home and thought about it. And the next day he came back and he said, "Coach, it's a goal. I'll do whatever it takes." Now this story resonated with me because for many years, you might say that I was lost without a clear path or direction. I didn't understand the difference between a dream and a goal. And because of that, I didn't really know what I was working towards. This lack of direction was most evident, I would say, while I attended Canterbury. I was pretty much a straight B student, and I had to work for that. I had an average SAT. I applied to an average list of colleges. I'd say AP Bio might actually be the hardest class I've ever taken. And perhaps it didn't help when I fell asleep. I recall being awakened one day to Mr. King snapping, "Good God, man, have some respect for homeostasis." It wasn't until taking Dr. Worley's econ class that I found a topic that came somewhat natural to me. One that excited me and that I actually enjoyed. But on this day, 13 years ago, I didn't win any awards. I remember walking off this lawn thinking, I'm capable of so much more than this. But capable of what? At the time, I knew I had a dream. I wanted to go into business and be successful, but I had no idea what that meant or what that really looked like. I was still very much uncertain where my path might lead when I entered college. I took a career services class in my first year where we had to write down 1 to 2 goals we wanted to achieve for each year we were in school. We already set goals for ourselves every day. Go to the gym, eat healthy, get a good night's rest. But life isn't measured by one's daily routines. Rarely do we take a step back and apply this same energy and focus to our lives on a long-term basis. Finally, I was forced to identify my goals. Step 2, establish mentors. Billionaire investor and hedge fund manager Ray Dalio once said, "Ask yourself what you want. Seek out examples of other people who got what they wanted, and try to discern the cause and effect patterns behind their achievements so you can apply them to help you achieve your own goals." So to complete this goal assignment, I recall looking around campus and within my fraternity, attempting to identify upperclassmen who seemed to have what I wanted: strong leadership positions, admiration by faculty and peers, and those unattainable career offers. I grabbed a coffee with a few of these upperclassmen, recorded their achievements for my assignment, and I turned it in. Over time, I became closer with these upperclassmen, seeking guidance from them on classes and on extracurriculars. They became my mentors. Then it all happened. I couldn't believe how lucky I was during the years that followed. Everything seemed to fall my way. The unattainable leadership positions I had dreamed of became available. I went to work on Wall Street. I got to present to faculty and trustees. I became a mentor to underclassmen who were now taking me out for coffee. It wasn't until a few years after graduation that I discovered that original career services assignment saved on my computer. I was shocked. I'd followed the playbook precisely and nailed each and every goal. But I didn't blaze a new path. I followed in the footsteps of those who had achieved similar goals to me before me. Why reinvent the wheel? Establish those mentors, and you won't have to. So you might say, well, that's great. I've identified my goals and established my mentors, but how do I go about executing on this plan and actually accomplishing something? Step 3, leverage the skills you already have. Goals and mentors won't get you far if you don't have the right tools. So here's the best part. I wouldn't have been able to follow in the path I did without the foundation that Canterbury provided me. While high school never came easy, college was a breeze. Because of the routines and the disciplines I developed within these walls, I learned how to think, how to write, how to stay organized, how to present. I've been able to separate from the herd in life by applying the lessons I learned within these walls. And you can all rest assured, my mother told me to add this part. My hat's off to the parents for making such a significant investment to send your children to this great school. You can all rest assured knowing that your son or daughter is more prepared today than they ever will be for the journey that lies ahead. Today, I spend my days rallying my investor group to support my latest investment thesis or acquisition opportunity. It's exhilarating. I work for myself. I set my own schedule. I've never worked harder in my life, and I couldn't be happier. While I have yet to make a ton of money or manage 100 plus employees, I'm excited to report today I think I found the success, or at least established the path that I had hoped for when I was in your shoes 13 years ago. And you should be excited too, because we all share in the same foundation. With concrete goals and the right mentors, you can leverage the skills you've developed here today to achieve what might now seem impossible. Regardless of what prestigious institution lies ahead, I can assure you, your future peer group doesn't have the Canterbury arrow in their quiver. So congratulations, class of 2018. You're about to enter an incredibly impactful period of your life. As I've found, one that can set your trajectory for many years to come. I'm guessing you may find yourselves with a fair amount of free time over the next couple months. So I'd encourage you to use this time to take that first step. Find some time to be thoughtful, about your future and visualize your path. Consider the coach's words. Why'd you show up? Why are you here? Are you chasing a dream, or are you working towards a goal? Thank you.
Now we come to the serious business of graduating our 12th grade students.